Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of our podcast. Today, John and I are talking about something emotional but very important: how to talk about sad moments in English. Many English learners find it difficult to express deep feelings. So, this episode will help you understand useful phrases, expressions, and ways to talk about sadness naturally. John, how do you feel about this topic?
I feel that this topic is really meaningful, Annie. Sadness is something every person experiences. If our listeners learn how to express sad moments clearly, they can communicate better, build deeper relationships, and feel understood. So I'm glad we're having this conversation today.
Another useful area is when someone wants to talk about a sad memory or a painful moment from their past. Sometimes people say things like, "It was one of the hardest days of my life. I still think about it sometimes. It changed me. I didn't know how to handle it. I felt completely lost." These sentences help describe the emotional impact.
That's right. And if the sadness comes from a specific situation, maybe losing a job, ending a relationship, or losing a loved one, people might say, I wasn't prepared. It hurt more than I expected. It broke my heart. I cried a lot during that time. I felt alone even when people were around. These expressions feel honest and real.
And sometimes you don't want to talk about the details, but you still want others to know you're feeling sad. For that, people usually say, "I'd rather not talk about it. It's still fresh. I need some time. I'm not ready to open up. Let's talk about something else for now." These are gentle ways to protect your feelings.
Now, Annie, another important part of talking about sad moments is explaining how you cope with them. People often share coping phrases like, I'm trying to stay positive, I'm taking things one day at a time, I'm talking to people I trust, I'm focusing on self care, I'm slowly healing. These show strength and progress.
Yes, and coping is such a big part of healing. Another thing people share is how sadness affects them physically or mentally. Expressions like, "I couldn't sleep. I lost my appetite. My mind felt heavy. I couldn't focus. I felt drained." These help listeners understand what someone went through.
And if someone wants to comfort another person, there are helpful phrases like, I'm here for you. You're not alone. I'm really sorry you're going through this. Take your time. Let me know if you need anything. These are simple but powerful.
Exactly. And John, sometimes people need vocabulary to talk about heartbreak or emotional pain. Words like grief, loss, sorrow, disappointment, heartbreak, loneliness, frustration, regret, hurt, emptiness can help describe specific feelings.
Right, and combining these words with sentences can make the message clearer. For example, I felt deep grief when it happened. I was filled with regret. The loneliness was overwhelming. The disappointment stayed with me. I struggled with the feeling of emptiness. These help express the exact emotion.
Something else that helps is sharing how you came out of those sad moments. People often say, "I'm doing better now. I'm learning to move on. I'm healing slowly. Things are getting easier. I'm finding strength again." These sentences show hope and progress.
And hope is so important. Sometimes just telling someone, I'm proud of myself for getting through that time, or I didn't think I could survive it, but I did, can make the story inspiring instead of only sad.
Very true. Also, when people share sad stories, they sometimes describe what they learned. They might say, "It taught me patience. It made me stronger. I learned to value people more. It helped me understand myself. It showed me who truly cares." These reflections help turn sadness into growth.
I like that. And it's helpful for English learners to understand that talking about sad moments doesn't always have to sound dramatic. It can be calm, reflective, or simple. Even saying, it was a tough time, but I'm okay now, is enough.
Exactly. And speaking about sad moments can help people feel less alone. Many English learners struggle because they don't know what phrases to use. So, understanding emotional vocabulary gives them confidence to open up.
One more thing, When someone is listening to a sad story, they can show empathy with short responses like, I understand. That sounds really tough. I'm sorry that happened. Thank you for sharing. That must have been painful. These make the conversation more supportive.
Yes, showing empathy matters. And we also have phrases to gently end or close the conversation when talking about something sad becomes too emotional. Like, let's talk about something lighter. I think I need a break. Can we continue this later? I'm feeling emotional. Let's pause. Thank you for listening.
Those are great. And I think it's important for our listeners to remember that everyone handles sadness differently. There is no correct way to describe it, but using the right English phrases helps express emotions more clearly.
Exactly. And the more you practice these expressions, the easier it becomes to talk about feelings. Sad moments are a part of life, but expressing them can help you heal and help others understand you better.
Well said, Annie. I hope our listeners feel more confident after hearing all these examples. Emotional vocabulary is an important part of English learning, and knowing how to talk about sad moments is truly a life skill.
We hope this conversation helped you, and we encourage you to practice these phrases with friends, classmates, or even in front of the mirror. The more you practice, the more natural your speaking becomes.
Thank you for joining us on today's episode. Keep learning, keep improving, and remember that expressing your emotions is a sign of strength. We'll see you in the next episode.
Take care, everyone, and thank you for listening.